So today we are going to discuss what I consider to be my top cold call openers. I have used them, I have trained them, I have seen their success, and I know that if you use these, the statistical chance of you having a conversation is greatly increased than the usual dross that you are fed. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I have trawled the internet and I have come across some top CRM company tips on the things you should be saying. And here's a little clue as to what's going to happen next. They're These 18 call lines have been tried and tested with amazing results. Well, let's just see about that, shall we? Number one on their list is, and they believe they call it the introduce yourself opener. And it goes like this. Hi, my name is Benjamin from Jism. Are you free for a quick chat? Oh, good grief. Do I even need to explain why this is such a terrible opener? What do you think the likely guttural reaction is going to be to that? It's instinctively going to get a no. Therefore, this is stupid and pointless. Of course, you do anything enough times, it's going to work. But this, statistically, the odds are you're just going to piss people off. Number two, the be up front, as they call it. This one's good. This is a long one, though, so let's go. It says, hi, whoever you are. My name is Benjamin, calling from Jism. For full transparency, at the very beginning, this is a well-researched B2B sales call. I appreciate that I've called you completely out of the blue. Is now a bad time for a 2-minute chat? Oh dear God. Yet again, what is it with people phoning up and introducing themselves, pointing out that this is a bad time, and then proceeding to say, give me 2 minutes of your time? I mean, it's crazy. It's ludicrous. I mean, what sort of logic are you thinking? But not only that, what I hate about this is a well-researched B2B sales call. Well, of course it must be if the salesman phoning me up who I don't trust and I don't know tells me that this is well-researched. Well, by God, I better put aside all my preconceived prejudice against how shit salespeople are and believe them in this moment. What a load of tosh. Ladies and gentlemen, do not use this opener. Number three. The old chestnut, this one. It's the ask how they are opener. And it goes something like this. In fact, do I even need to say it? Because I think you're already... It just goes, hi, whoever you are. My name is Benjamin from Jism. How are you today? What is that going to elicit? What sort of response are you typically going to get if you phone up a stranger and say, how are you today? Do you know what you get? You get the same response you get when you go to a networking event at 7 a.m. in the morning, room full of losers, desperate to sell. And you say, so how's business? What do they all say? Oh, good. It's going well. Same thing here. You phone someone up and say, how are you today? What do they say? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. What is the purpose of this? How does this further your goal of getting into a conversation? It's utter trite. I'll give you a little tip. Whenever somebody phones me up nowadays and says, how are you today? Do you know what I say? I say, well, my mum died last night. And you always get this awkward silence. And then you hear the salesperson go, I'm sorry. Look, so anyway, the reason why, and they're straight into it. So this is something else. If you're going to ask a question, at least have the fucking decency to want to know what the answer is. And when you hear it, to then exercise some judgment as to what you should do. This is the fourth one. It's called give a reason for the call opener. Now, I don't quite get this one, so I'm going to read it. It says, hi, whoever you are. I'm Benjamin from Jism. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to find out if you're the right person to speak with about connecting with more ready-to-buy prospects at your company name here.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
I still don't know what the that means. I mean, I'm reading it out. I've got it here in black and white. So if you phoned me up and said this, I'd be, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean ready-to-buy prospects? What on earth are you on about? Do you mean you have no idea who you're supposed to be calling to pitch your product to? Is that what you're calling up to ask me? What do you think is the likely feeling that you are going to encourage within a prospect when they hear this? They're going to shut down. They're going to say, well, what is it about? Why are you calling? Leave me alone. F off. Drop dead. Die. No good. Don't do it.
Hello, didn't see you there. Let me guess, struggling to get past gatekeepers? Don't you all sound like your mum? Who are you? Why are you calling? What's it regarding? Can you send them an email? But not only that, you get through. What do? You start puking and vomiting features and benefits, and more often than not, you get told to piss off. Oh, and I know what you're doing. Let me guess, changing your phone number when you call back so they don't spot you. Phoning at odd and awkward times to catch them off guard, aren't you? Well, you're in luck. I get phone calls from people all over the world every day thanking me for how well for... What? Yes, Prime Minister. So sorry. No. The www.salesmatrixcourses.com. I know the king said .co.uk, but he just never listens. Riffraff.
Well, you've heard
4.
the worst possible cold call openers that you could possibly hear. So I'm now going to talk you through the top 3 openers that I have used, that I have mastered, that I have taught, that I have seen played out across sectors. And they're not going to just be generic. There are going to be some that are going to specifically work better in other sectors than will in some other sectors, because that is what cold call openers are like. Some will work better in other sectors depending on the sorts of people you're calling on and how many calls they get. And remember, whenever we're cold calling, we don't know the mood or the feeling or what has happened to the person we're going to be talking to. They could be in a great mood, they could be in a shit mood, they could be in a non-plus mood. Whatever mood they're in, it's probably going to dictate how they respond to what you do. But you can make the odds that these statistically go better if you follow the tips that I'm about to give you in my top 3 best cold call openers.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
So I'm going to give you my number 1 cold call opener now. Some of you may have heard this before. To some of you, this could be the first time. I've made videos about this and written about this, and I've popularized it very, very well over the internet over the last few years. So this works across all sectors, and it simply goes like the phone rings, and the person answers. They go, hello? I always go in with the question, is that Richard? And they go, yeah. I go, Richard, look, you are going to hate me. This is actually a cold call. Do you want to hang up now or let me have 30 seconds and then decide? And that's it. Now, why does that work? See, it's all well and good me saying use it, but why does it work? And I'll tell you why. First of all, it works best when you're phoning at senior director level. And the reason it works best at senior director level is for several reasons. Number 1, these are the people least called, so they don't get that many calls. Number 2, when you say to a senior decision maker, someone who's used to being in charge, used to being in control, when you say, do you want to hang up? It elicits an almost guttural no, don't you tell me what to do. It's done under the radar. This is psychology. It's an element of manipulation. So I deliberately tell someone who is used to giving orders to others an order. Their reaction is a no. Most of the time, and this is what I love the most, if delivered well at director level, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, you get a chuckle. I quite like that. That's a good opener. I've not heard that one before. Right? That's why it works. It makes the decision maker feel almost compelled to let you speak because they don't like to be told what to do. One of my second favorite cold call openers is specifically designed for industries where cold calling is ubiquitous. You know the one? It's when you phone them up and they say, is this about recruitment? Or is this about currency? Or is this about whatever? Put your own sector there. There's a lot of those where phone calling is everywhere, so they get a harder time. A line that I use and have used when calling in both those sectors, because I have worked in both of them with clients who sell that stuff. A great opener, and this is one of my favorite ones, is you get in, as soon as, is that Richard, yes, Richard, if I told you this was about currency, would a little piece of you die? Now you wait, and what happens is you get this, yes, you get that groan. Now, rather than go in with some beggy follow-up, well, look, let me just have 30 seconds, or if I could just, you don't do that. You go in with another question, and I'll tell you what, this question works a treat every time. As soon as you go, yes, I go, well, before you hang up, can I ask one quick question? Why does everybody say that? And do you know what happens? They vent. They tell you how much they hate receiving calls like this, how many times they get calls like this. And when they finish venting, do you know what? If you say, well, look, if I promise the next 30 seconds will be different, will you hear me out? Do you know how many say yes? Simply because you've sounded different from all the other calls in that sector. Now remember, the purpose of a cold call opener, or a pattern interrupt as it's commonly referred to, is I want to get the person, if possible, to chuckle or laugh, because if I can break down that barrier, if I can make them feel a little bit comfortable with me, then they're going to open up and we're going to have a bit of a conversation. So the phone rings, ring. Hello, I go, hello, is that Richard? Yes, Richard, if I told you this was a sales call, would you hang up? And they go, yes, I probably would. I go, fair enough. I won't say that then. And then normally they start laughing, what's it about? I go, well, look. And then I carry on with the rest of my call. It's a cheeky, sneaky, funny little way of getting in there. And again, Try all three. Try them at different times. Try them on different people. Try them in different sectors. But I know that all these three work extremely well when delivered well. I have trained thousands of salespeople across the globe, and I could probably count on my hand the number of people who've said that they don't work. And do you know why they don't work when you actually dig deep into that handful of people that say they don't work? It's because of the way they delivered it, the way they said it. What is the difference between a good actor and a great actor? It's not the script. It's not the lines. It's not their outfit. It's not the stage. It's how they deliver the words. Your job is to deliver this. Deliver it in a way that's gonna make your prospect feel comfortable to open up. So practice, fuck up, get it wrong, practice, and eventually it'll smoothly come off your tongue like a silver fox. No, I was trying to think of a fourth one. I had an idea though. Tell you what, I got it. Hi, Richard. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I have something round and firm that I'd like to propose to you. I bet that would get me in front of people, being a hot blonde like that.